go. Here's Bubby's. Like I said, I was going to be making some videos. So here's my first one. I don't really know how to begin. Considering it's been about 5 years or so since the very last video I uploaded where I was speaking in front of a camera. Been down a very difficult road since then. And since I've been released from Humboldt County and on parole, and then released from parole, when I started sharing videos again on YouTube, from that point, like 18 months ago or so, up until now, I have intentionally and purposefully not spoken in front of the camera as much as I have wanted to. I haven't shown my face since I've been released from jail, as far as on social media or YouTube or anything, and it's been intentional. With this first video, for you, the person watching, understand that this is going to be the very beginning of a very long story, and this first episode is kind of just getting us warmed up for when I actually do start sharing the story, which will be probably the next video. So this video alone is just kind of letting you see my face, hear my voice, read my body language, kind of hear about just a summary of what I'm planning. It's going to take a little bit for me to come out of my shell because I haven't spoke for a long time. It's been, ever since I've been arrested, I've essentially haven't talked to anybody about what's happened. Since I got put in handcuffs, I haven't really had anybody to talk to except for my mom. Beyond her, nobody to talk to, nobody to text message, nobody to send emails to. No idea where my friends are at. No idea where anybody that had been following my social media page before my arrest, I don't know where anybody's at. Okay. Right now I'm essentially on my own with my dog, even though, in my last videos I say that I have friends and stuff. Like, I have friends, they're watching my back, but at the same time, it's this thing where I'm literally on my own and I have to figure it out. And I have to figure out, I don't even really want to get into it yet because you guys might, it's just jumping all the way to the end, but kind of need to go backwards. If you guys have, for any of you who have been following my channel for a while, just really depends on how long you have been. If you've been following me since before my arrest, you are aware of a lot of shit that happened. And then since then, it's kind of just been like, okay, no clue, possibly. Or maybe you do have a clue. But I am intending to, if you've read and watched episodes 1 through 5, then you're aware of everything that's happened since I came back from Hawaii in 2016. Okay, that's where the story ended. I explained that I've already established I'm not going to be writing episode number 6. It's going to, each episode that I've done so far, it's like around 1,000 hours of work or more per episode. So I've done 5 episodes. That's a lot of hours that I've put into those projects, and I've done it all out of my own pocket. I haven't received a single dollar from anybody. I've had nobody encouraging me, telling me to do it, nobody telling me to proceed forward. I've just done it because it's something I have felt that needs to be done. Because as far as how I see things, since I have been released from Humboldt County, from my incarceration, I have known that those who set me up and tried burying me and, tried just pretty much destroying my entire life, I knew they would try again at some point, and they did. I very much intend to tell all of you all about that in great detail, but I can't do it yet because there's a whole bunch of backstory that I have to paint a picture for you, so to speak. You know, metaphorically, I got to paint a picture, assemble a puzzle for you. So if you're paying attention to all the details, you'll be able to see the sequence of events that led up to this specific moment where they tried, you know, they tried setting me up, and they took my dog. They just literally tried setting me up to do something that would lead to me getting arrested. And then the moment I got arrested is when they would pull everything from my past as far as what they used against me in my previous arrest, which is when they would pretty much like nail in the final nails in the coffin. And then I, you know, had that happen, I would be eventually sent to prison or a state hospital, and that's where I'd be kept forever probably, because if I even tried defending myself or speaking up about what happened, they just make up stuff as they go. Just accuse me of being delusional, a schizo, paranoid, or whatever. Even though I do have evidence and things to support the things that I'm claiming, they won't even acknowledge it. It's like, oh, we don't look at that. Even though we know you're telling the truth, we're going with this road and just accusing you of this. That way we can keep these guilty people from ever being exposed or held accountable. So it's like you're being used as a scapegoat, and so long as you try and fight and defend yourself, you're just going to put yourself deeper and deeper into a hole. That's what they're attempting. Okay. So that's what I'm eventually going to start talking about. But again, we're going to be, if you've read episodes 1 through 5, watched all of it, you know, that's a lot of hours. You know, that's like over 900 pages worth of reading. It's like 19 or 18 or 19 hours worth of video just from 1 through 5. So like, if you want to know that backstory, you know, it's a time commitment on your end and something where you'll have to pay attention. But if you ever want to make sense of how I ended up in my position, if you really want the full picture, it's going to require sacrifices on your end to just follow the story. But I mean, if you have not read it or watched it yet, then you should know there's a lot of pictures, there's videos, things to keep you, you know, keep you engaged and entertained. You know, I'm not trying to entertain anything. This isn't entertainment. This is real world shit. But it's things to keep you looking forward. What I'm saying is, if you end up reading episodes 1 through 5, just know there's a lot of visuals to keep you engaged so that you're not getting bored. You know, and then by the time you finish episode 5, you'll know what happened to me when I came home from Hawaii after spending 7 months living on the Big Island. 6 out of those 7 months was living out of a small car. And you'll learn about how they tried killing me on the island. You know, they tried poisoning me, tried murdering me on the island, and for some reason I came back alive. I was alive the next morning. I'm not going to explain all that because it's part of the story. But me speaking now, after this episode, the following video from this one, I'm going to be picking up, I'm just going to be telling the story about what happened from the time I came back from Hawaii, landed in Central Oregon, and my path and where I've gone since then. One of the advantages of speaking is you can see me, you can hear my voice, read my body language and all that stuff. But the downside is that I don't have my external memory cards, or you know those external memories that you can plug in, and it has all my old photos and stuff. I left all that back in Central Oregon. So, you know, considering if you watch the last few videos, you know that I've said things about my family, and so I have a lot of personal things at their house. And so by the time I return back to Oregon, probably around October, I have no idea where things will be as far as my family dynamics, as far as my situation, as far as my own father. I don't know if he's still going to be walking free, or if law enforcement's going to do anything about the things I've said and, you know, take action, which is what I'm hoping for, because the things that have happened, it's not good. I don't feel safe going back to Central Oregon. You know, and I'm going to explain all this. Should I think? Yeah, so I was going somewhere. but I kind of lost track. And that's, oh yeah, so with the downside of not having visuals and stuff, so when I'm telling my story, there's a lot of pictures and videos that I have after, you know, when I returned back from Hawaii and all the places I've been since then, you know, go all the way to 2018 when I went to Las Vegas and smoked DMT, met the devil, and then everything just went crazy downhill. I have all kinds of photos from that time frame. But the downside is it's all back in Oregon. It's all in my bedroom at my parents' house. There's a lot of stuff I left behind because I could not fit everything inside my van. So that all of that stuff could potentially disappear if, you know, say my dad watches this video and he hears me talk about this, and, you know, if they clean out the room and get rid of all my shit, no idea. It's out of my hands. I'm 700 miles away from where they're at right now. But plus side is you'll at least get to hear me tell the story, and depending on your ability to follow along and listen to the details and keep and remember what I've shared, eventually once we arrive to, you know, current, you know, to July and August 2024, all the things I've told you about the past, it's all gonna make sense here. It's like as I'm telling you a story, just imagine I'm metaphorically giving you a bunch of puzzle pieces. All this information is just metaphorical puzzle pieces, just giving it to you, and I'm gonna do my best speaking clearly and try and stay focused, so all the information I'm giving you, you're able to assemble these pieces as we're going, right? And then eventually you're going to see a bigger picture of different things, and then by the time I'm done telling, you know, get caught up to where I'm at now, you'll see the big picture, and then you'll also understand how you're connected to this as much as anybody else that's watching video. Everybody's connected to this big picture. It's not just about me, it's about everybody. My situation is special, and I will explain what that means once we get going. Before we do that though, you should know that, like, the camera I'm using is my Nikon D800. It's a DSLR camera, it's not my cell phone. And the way the video is set up, nothing I can do about it, is it only records in 20-minute intervals and then the video stops. It's just part of the camera feature. So every 20 minutes, the video, wherever we're watching, I might be mid-sentence and the video might just cut. And I have a timer set, so once I hit 20 minutes, I'll know when it's stopped. So I'll have to stand up and restart it and then come sit back down. So every time there's a cut, just understand that's what's going on. Right now, as far as my location, I'm up in the mountains. I guess it'd be, you know, like 10 miles east of Jackson or so. Don't need necessarily give away my location. But I'm up in the mountains. Camera's on a tripod. It's just Malaki and I. I'm about to take the camera off the tripod and give you a little look around just so you know kind of the setting. I'm going to try, you know, as we're going, I have to be really mindful of any kind of distractions around me as far as noise. Anytime it gets windy, the wind causes issues with the audio. Causes a lot of issues with the audio. So there might be times where I'm speaking and then it gets windy and I'll just have to cut. Hold on. Fix this. So now I'm just going to give you a little glimpse of where I'm at. So up in the mountains in the forest. Here's my van. You know, it's a gift. It's a gift from my friends. People can believe it or they don't have to believe it. It doesn't really matter to me. There's the tripod. And there's Bubby's. Milwaukee. There I got my flag. One flag. I got my POW flag. And then we're pretty much just secluded right now. So I found this spot this morning. I just wanted an area where I'm not going to get people rolling by and distracting me or anything like that. It's kind of hard to do here in Jackson because there's so many people all over. And then not to mention, I just call them bad guys. The bad guys, they're following me all over the place. So there's a lot of times where wherever I'm at, it's, there's people watching me, and it's not a thing of paranoia. No, it's a fucking fact. There's bad guys. Just calling them bad guys is just a generic term. But there's bad guys watching me everywhere I go. And even where I'm at now, not this specific spot, but, this area where I'm at now, just 8 days ago? 8 days ago, just down the road, I was up in the same area, and sun had already gone down. It was already dark, like completely dark out. And Malaki and I are just in my van, and it's around 12 a.m. Just out of nowhere, just probably 60 to 80 rifle rounds. It sounded like an automatic rifle. Might have been, it could have been multiple shooters. But altogether, it was probably about 60 to 80 rounds. Just bang, 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 bang. Just, just all the way up to about 60 to 80 rounds, and then it stops. This is just down the road from me and fucking loud. And then, short time later, like 10 minutes later, another 20, 40 rounds. I got, all these flies. Flies, great. And it was just a product of the shit that's going on around me. Before the sun had gone down, there was people showing up and just kind of hovering around my camping area, and they were putting off a bunch of really bad vibes. I even had one guy, after I had gotten in my van right around sunset, some guy on an ATV came riding up into my camp spot and was like revving his four-wheeler right outside my van. I'm inside my van. I got blinds so I can't see him, and then it sounds like he's like peeling out. I can't see him, but he's right outside the van, and then he rips off, goes right to the entrance to the road, and he sits there like, and I get out of my van and look at him, and he's like flexing at me, and then he takes off down the road. And then a little bit later, there's a group of people like in the trees, like around 100 yards or less away from me, and they're being super loud. And this is right around when it's getting dark, and I don't, like, where the fuck are these people coming from? Okay? And I got people just driving right past my van back and forth, and I'm just getting these really bad vibes. I listen to my intuition, gut feeling. Just getting these bad feelings, but you got to consider, this is after I've shared these previous videos on YouTube saying that there's things happening and that, some crazy stuff. And that I've said my dad's responsible behind it. So if I'm right about that, and they're trying to get me to be quiet, and they know I'm up here, and they think I'm alone in the mountains, and they're sending somebody for me, or sending a group of people that they might make an attempt to capture me. What if that was just them flexing on me right before it gets dark, and then, eventually they go off a little bit down the road, and however many of them there are, they're getting organized and getting ready to make a move on me, say like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something, right when it's in the middle of the night when I would probably be asleep, is when they would be able to sneak up on me and not without me hearing them. And then they could just rush the van all sides, break the windows out, and then they could capture me alive. That's could have been what was going on. But then at around 12 a.m., let's just say my friends appeared, and they already knew this was all going on. They were watching it all happening, but the bad guys weren't making their move yet, so my friends were not making their move yet. But around 12 a.m., it must have been, this is what I'm guessing, I don't know the facts. Around 12 a.m., the bad guys might have been getting ready to make their move on me, and so my friends ambushed them and fucking shot them all, as far as I'm concerned. And then a few of them might have taken off running through the trees. They didn't get them. I don't know however many there are, so a few of them might have taken off running through the trees, try to escape. And then they got tracked down and they got shot. It's my guess. But then again, maybe, was it just a random person just shooting a bunch of bullets in the middle of the night near the National Elk Refuge and near town, kind of? Alright, like I said, that's 20 minutes. Video just stopped, and my timer also went off. So yeah, you just gotta start another one. But yeah, like I don't not really exactly sure where it exactly stopped on the camera, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you know, all those whoever was up here, as far as bad guys who had bad intentions that night, as far as I'm concerned, they're all dead or taken. If there's any survivors, they're taken into custody. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe nothing. Maybe none of that happened. And it was just a random person shooting. You know, in the middle of the night for no fucking reason into pitch blackness. I don't really know why that would be a thing. I feel like that person would be at risk for getting in trouble because there are camp hosts around here. This is kind of a camping area, and there is a camp host. You know, it's areas all spread out, but there is a camp host, and I feel like if there's somebody up here shooting in the middle of the night, that he would go investigate. So I feel like what I experienced might have been what happened. Some of the bad guys were up here trying to get to me, and my friends intervened and took care of it. And that's just one instance. You know, I intend on talking about that more, going into much more detail. But like I said, I'm gonna have to go back to the beginning. But not yet. We're still on the first video. With my current circumstances, just kind of let you know where I'm dealing with now. It's been a little over a month. I think I'm going on week 5. It's like 4.5 weeks. Going on week 5 of living out of the van, you know, full time, sleeping out of the van every night. I left Oregon on July 9th, so I guess today's the 16th or 17th. So you can do the math. Been in Jackson Hole for a while, you know, over a month. So I kind of have my own routine. I'm down to I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty skinny right now. I think right now I only weigh like 137 pounds, 136, around there, which is not good. When I got arrested, I only weighed 120 pounds in 2019. And all of that's been a product of the bad guys, you know, those who are responsible with destroying my life. They've sabotaged my ability to make any kind of money through any kind of means other than physical labor. I can't do anything. It appears I can't do anything photography related and make money from it because whatever advertisements I put out I don't get anything. It's pretty much impossible for me to make money unless I'm doing actual physical labor. Right now, my shoulder, my rotator cuff is completely fucked up. I can't even throw the ball. I can't even throw a ball for him. The pain is pretty bad. When I sleep at night and raise my shoulder above 90 degrees, it's pretty bad. So I don't have much money left. After I worked, you know, I worked all the way up until the beginning or the end of June. I was doing landscaping and yard maintenance. I have my own trailer with a lawnmower, weed eater, leaf blower, you know, rakes and all that kind of stuff. And I was just working for myself, you know, doing any kind of like yard work type stuff for people contacts I'd made over the past 3 summers. I've been doing it for the past 3 summers. It's like spring, summer, and autumn, you know, so three months out of the year. And then during the winter time, that's when I was really focusing on my the writing project. So just trying to find a balance between it all. But as of this year, I worked from like March all the way up until June. You know, every week, just mowing, weed eating, pulling weeds, doing all kinds of yard work, making pretty decent money doing it. Working as much as I could physically, you know, do it without exhausting myself. But then all the shit happened with Milwaukee getting drugged and all that. And so I had to drop all of my responsibilities and all my work that I had lined up and all my business contact, all the people, different people who I was doing work for. I had to just drop it all. And I spent altogether probably about $3,000 for the van, $500, another $500 for registration, insurance, taxes and all that stuff. Whatever goes into buying a vehicle, it was like $500. And then probably like another $400 or $500 on just stuff that needed to get inside of it. And so that took a nice chunk of my money. And then since then, tried selling my trailer to make some of that back, but I wasn't able to do it in a good enough time frame. So my mom ended up writing me a check for the amount that I was trying to sell the trailer for, and so I pretty much just traded them. So the trailer, lawnmower, and leaf blower, everything in the trailer is theirs now, and my mom gave me a check because she said she just doesn't, considering everything that was going on at the house, and I told you I had to get out of there, there was a lot of bad tension there, and she literally said that, like, your dad cannot handle this right now, like, here's a check, this is just to get you on your way. So I was planning on staying at their house until I sold my trailer, and then I would leave because I'd have that extra chunk of money. But with everything that was going on, the fact that I confronted my dad and telling him he belongs in prison, and that I would not eat dinner with them, and I don't feel safe or any of that, I'm packing around, got my knife, I'm wearing my knife inside the house just in case he tries some shit on me. That's how bad it is, or how bad it was there. Me feeling that unsafe at his house, at their house, that I'm literally carrying a fucking knife all day long, even in our own house, because I know what he did, and it's just a matter of time before he just fucking does something. And he didn't like that, and he's scared of that, knowing that I know, and he's scared that I would respond because I caught him. But I already told him I'd never lay hands on him. It's like karma. My game, I've told my parents multiple times, like, I'll never, even though all these things he's done to me, I'll never lay hands on him. I'll never physically do anything to him. I said, my game is guilt and karma. So I said, all these things you've done to me, eventually it's going to come right back full circle, and it's going to catch right back up to you. And I've caught you now. And now I can just create space, and then I can turn around and start letting everybody know. And that way, he can't do anything to me there. And so he's scared out of his fucking mind because he knows he's caught. And they've been doing as much as they can to keep me quiet and scare me, threaten me to just, that if you say anything, we're going to call the cops. And I've said it. I'm like, I dare you to call law enforcement and report me. Because as soon as you call law enforcement, they're going to ask why. And then all they got to do is get on my YouTube channel. And I'm right here. I'm here right now intending to explain everything. But at the same time, they already know. As far as I'm concerned, law enforcement already knows everything that has happened. And right now, there's a lot of variables at play before certain moves can be made. So, as far as me being here right now, I'm not in a state of fear. I'm not running, any of that. I'm here just trying to explain as clearly and slowly as possible to help everybody get up to speed, so to speak. But at the moment, I haven't heard I have no answers about anything. Ever since I have been arrested in 2019, I have not gotten any answers about anything that has happened. Anything at all. I don't know. Nobody has ever come forward and told me nothing about what is this and what's not that. If that even makes sense. But it's saying what is and what isn't. This is what happened and this is not what happened. This is how this went down. This is how that went down. This is these are lies you've been told. This is a person who was playing you. This is a person who was your friend and you didn't know it. Like, nobody has ever come forward and told me. So, as I'm speaking now, I don't have the actual answers. I just have my experiences and the things that I know that from what I have personally experienced and have gone through, and that's all I have at the moment. So whatever, what's this guy doing? Oh, he's just driving down the road. Whatever physical evidence is out there regarding my own father's involvement beyond things that I have no knowledge about, it would be law enforcement, the FBI, the military. They would be the ones that have the information, and they've essentially let me know that we're on the same team, and they're doing everything in their capacity to keep me safe. But at the current moment, they just cannot reveal themselves and come forward and let me know anything. So it's a game. I've said it's a game. Things that I've had to figure out, of which part of this very long story that I'm going to share, I am going to explain the game. So you can look forward to that. I'm going to explain everything I've just told you. If it doesn't make sense to you right now, I promise I'm going to wholeheartedly explain the game. And if you are paying attention and you can remember everything I've shared, don't you have to remember everything, but the big picture. By the end of the story, you're going to know what the game is. Okay? And, if you're a good person, or say you're just, right now there's 3 categories. You got the good guys. If you're a good person, you're a Christian, or you believe in God, you believe in Christ, you believe in your spirit, you believe in your soul, you know what's going on, you understand good versus evil, you believe in demons and all the dark side, good versus evil. You know that, and you're standing in the light, so to speak. You're one of the good guys. Say you're one of my friends and supporters who are watching my back, or wherever you're at in the world, you're sharing my story with people be like, hey, you need to check out Brandon's channel. We know who he is. Like, you're a good guy. You're amongst the good ones. Okay? And then you got the bad guys, the ones that are doing all the fucked up stuff in this world. You name it. I don't even really need to list it. All the bad things you see going on in this world, whether it's politics, war, economical bullshit, society, what's going on in cities, civil unrest, anything you can think of, all the chaos and bullshit that's going on in this world, the people who are behind it, those are the bad guys. Rapists, pedophiles, child traffickers, drug traffickers, whatever, corrupt politicians, corrupt cops. You got good law enforcement, and then you got bad apples amongst law enforcement. You got bad apples amongst any industry you can think of. You're gonna have bad apples amongst them, and those are individuals that will have to be identified amongst the ranks of all the good. Okay, it's not complicated. You got movies and TV shows that talk about the exact same stuff. The good versus evil, whatever the plot line is. You got people that are pretending to be good, but they're bad guys, wolves in sheep's clothing, so to speak. Okay, so you got the good guys, you got the bad guys, and then here in the middle is what I call the neutrals. Neutral people that don't know anything that's going on. People that don't know about good versus evil. People that don't really acknowledge God or the devil, Satan, angels, demons, fallen angels, whatever. They don't acknowledge any of that. They just think it's just a story. They don't necessarily believe in religion. They have their reasons why. They're not necessarily aware of anything that's going on in the world other than what's going on in their direct lives. They're just consumed with their life. Okay, they're a neutral person. Okay, they don't identify good versus bad. They're just living their lives. So this neutral, the bad guys are, it's good versus bad. They're fighting amongst each other, obviously. But in the middle, you have this middle where you got the bad guys that are trying to recruit them, either victimize them, steal from this middle group, steal as much as they can from this middle group, or recruit them, brainwash them, manipulate them, whatever, and turn them into useful idiots, recruit them amongst the army, get them to pledge their soul, whatever, but they're just trying to get as many of the middle group as they can, so their numbers just start swelling. But whoever's amongst this group, a lot of them, they're just ignorant. They don't really know what's going on. They're just part of this thing. Some of them might know, some of them might not know. Then you got the good guys who are trying to wake up the good guy, wake up this neutral ground. We're trying to you guys, get out of your hypnotization, your whatever distractions you have, whatever you got going on in your life, and just look at what's going on around you and understand that there's this big game going on where the consequences are going to be pretty severe if things go one way or the other. And we just trying to wake up as many people as we can. That way they're just at least aware. They've heard about it, and given enough time, maybe they might start seeing things as they've been told. You know, actually seeing it and not necessarily needing to be told anymore. They just see it in front of their eyes, like, holy shit, this is actually real. And then eventually they might willingly go to the good side, and, you know, however much time that takes, they're going to have a lot to learn, but eventually they are there because they know that's right, because they know this is what the situation is. But all the same, the middle ground, they're just like cannon fodder, so to speak, but not. You know, we're good guys are trying to do everything they can to wake them up, but at the same time, it's good versus evil, and it's this fight, and you got people dying in the middle, and it's not good. It's just all product of the bad guys doing everything in their power to keep the masses under a spell and asleep to what's really going on. And it's a war. The bad guys are trying to steal this world and claim everything under the sun as their dominion. And those who have pledged allegiance, those will be the ones who get to live their lives in however they want. But if you haven't pledged to them, you'll be their slave in whatever capacity that means. You'll be a be a labor slave, you could be a sex slave. You know, use your imagination on what types of slavery there is. The bad guys have their way. All the people who believe in God and Christ and stuff, you're gonna be slaves. You're gonna be their playthings. That's what we're dealing with. And then, even if you don't believe in God, or you're not a Christian, or whatever, like, if you eventually see the truth for what it is, in the sense of, like, holy crap, there's a bad guy, there's a really dark bad guy who's just stolen this world, and now we're being told we have to pledge allegiance to him and sell our soul to him. Like, is that what you want? Because you're going to be a slave forever. You know, whether or not you believe in your own creation and creation in general, and ever ask the question, where does everything come from? You don't believe in any of that, at some point you will. Okay? So I very much intend to explain how I have learned all this stuff and have arrived to the conclusions I've had, and it will very much go in alignment with why things have happened the way that they have, as far as everything that's happened to me. But again, it's going to be a long story, and it's going to take me a lot of time to both not only speak in front of the camera, but then I have to watch it for myself on the computer, review it all, and then I have to get it through my video editing and assemble everything into a final product for you to watch. Okay, it's all for you. I don't have anybody helping me. I don't have anybody telling me I need to talk about this or that. I have to say this, I can't say that. No, I'm saying whatever comes from my heart. I don't intend on editing anything out unless I just entirely just draw a blank, and I'm just like, if I lose train of thought or something, I might do a little bit of editing. But overall, you might just get videos that just run 20 minutes straight, and then the timer stops. There's no cuts in between, but there's a cut at 20 minutes, and the next one starts, 20 minutes. But it's going to take me a long time, and I told you about how much money I've already spent just to get where I am now, just to get myself safe and Malaki safe and away from my dad. It hasn't been cheap, and I can't just go get a job, because it appears a lot of people know who I am, and I've already tried doing that, getting jobs before, once I got out of jail and returned back to Oregon, and I had to leave 2 different jobs that I had been hired, 2 restaurant jobs, as a product of a hostile work environment, because my coworkers apparently know who I am, and they know about my background in some capacity. I don't know how much, and they talk about me behind my back and whisper and spread rumors and shit, but nobody ever talks to me directly as far as about anything that's happened in my life. It's just people talking behind my back amongst each other, and this was You know, a timer. You know, just things get really weird at these jobs because people are just talking behind my back. And I can, sometimes like you be in the next room and I can hear them talking behind my back. Or about me or whispering or stuff. Or then when I pass by, as soon as I get past, I hear them whispering or whatever. Or I'll be doing something, I turn around and literally catch somebody taking a picture of me with their phone. This shit fucking has happened. So, as time has been going forward, I've been picking up on this, that it appears a lot more people know about me and know who I am than I've been catching on. You know, like I said, it's almost like the Truman Show, man. Like, where it seems like all these places that I've gone, it always appears that people know who I am, but they won't ever admit it, or they won't say anything. But I've had to leave 2 jobs as a product of that, which is why I started doing landscaping and yard work. Why I went and bought my own trailer and just started working for myself, because I can't just get a job anymore. And so where I'm going with this is, with this story that I'm going to be sharing, if you're someone who's watching it and you're here wanting to hear the whole story, you got to understand you're getting it for free, essentially. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting paid to do this. There's nobody paying me to sit here and give you my time. And where I'm going with this is, I've spent a significant chunk of what I have earned this year before I had to quit my job to get the van, to get everything I've needed. And then over a month has gone by of paying for my fuel and food and stuff. And now I've only got I gotta wait for this vehicle to go by. People that ride their ATVs up and down this road. Like I said, I'm up in the mountains. But I've only got a little over, I think I have $2,400 left, and that's it. I can't go get a job because of where my position now. It's just not, it's not going to be productive for anybody for me to go get an hourly job doing physical labor or stocking groceries or working at a restaurant or whatever. It's a waste of time, okay? So I'm giving everything I have to share. Wait. The road goes up that way and then it comes back, and now they're going up that way. It'd be so fun. I wish I had one. But what I'm saying is that I've only got about 2,600, 2,400 left. No, I think it's about 2,400 altogether. And that's it. And I'm not going to have any more income coming in. So once I'm out of money, I'm going to have to resort to panhandling if it comes down to it. But I'm hoping that it doesn't come down to that, because, you know, if I'm trying to get help from my friends, and if you consider yourself a friend, whatever resources you have that you can send my way, I would really appreciate something, man. Because with the money I have left, I'm trying to stretch it out as far as I can, because once it's gone, that's it. And so as I'm getting closer to running to zero, I'm as a response to that, I'm only able to eat a certain amount of food per day, unless I want to just go through my money at a pretty quick rate. So I'm eating enough to keep myself from feeling hungry throughout the day. You know, I usually go get a breakfast burrito in the morning and a donut and some kind of drink, and that's enough to keep me pretty good until the afternoon. And then I'll eat some snacks, and then around 5, 6 o'clock I'll eat a big turkey and cheese sandwich, and maybe a few more snacks at night, and that's it. But overall, with the amount of energy I'm expending every day, I don't believe I feel like I'm not eating as many calories as I'm burning. And so as I keep living this lifestyle, the longer I go, the more weight I'm going to be losing. Just going to be gradually losing weight. Hold on, there's all these people. Oh, there's that guy. It's all good. It's the camp host, the guy that watches over this area. I've met him once already. He talked to me the last time I camped out here. He's a really nice person. He just let me know that there's bears that come through this area to keep an eye on Malaki. And you know, that's why I got my bear spray. But yeah, you know, I had to cut it short because he rolled up. But what I'm saying is, if you're someone who's looking forward to the story I intend to share, you gotta understand I am in a critical situation in the sense of, you know, I'm down to 136 pounds, and 137 pounds is somewhere right around that range, and it's just gonna keep going down. I'm gonna keep losing weight. The longer I'm living this lifestyle, so long as I'm not getting any help from anybody at all, you know. The message I intend to share is to help everybody to the best of my ability, to help them see what's going on, to help you learn about the big picture of what this life is and what it isn't, to learn about the traps in this life that are put out there for people to become victims, to share my experiences so that you don't fall into the traps that I have gone into, just so I can learn about them and then come out of them to share what they are. You know, some of the places I've been, I have intentionally gone into hell, so to speak, to learn about what the fuck is even happening, so I can eventually come back and tell all of you so that you can break free. That's my goal. Whether or not you want to believe me, it's your choice. Eventually, at some point, I feel like you might start believing me after you hear me speaking for a while. At some point, I mean, if you're somebody who believes I have a mental health issue, believe I'm schizophrenic or paranoid or delusional, maybe at some point you might realize that I'm not, and that I'm actually been trying to tell the truth the entire time, and just trying to get you to see the things that I have seen. That's my goal. But if I don't get any help, just understand, as I continue sharing videos, you're gonna watch me get even skinnier than I am now. I mean, shit, like, I'm pretty fucking skinny, man. Like, my pants, these pants are way too big for me. The belt I'm wearing, I'm on the last hole. I can't go any tighter on my belt. Well, none of my pants fit me anymore. Like, I can stick my whole hand like this. It's like 2 or 3 inches too big, and I have to have a belt to keep my pants up, but I can't afford going to buy pants. That's my situation. There's things that I need, but I cannot spend money on them because all of my money is being allocated towards food and fuel. It's survival. I'm playing a game of survival right now. And, you know, just the Hunger Games. You know, just think the movie The Hunger Games. So, if you're someone that considers yourself one of my friends, or a supporter, or whatever you want to call it, like, I have a PayPal page. I'm not begging, I'm not asking for charity. I'm just saying, if you want to hear my story, and you don't want to see me starve to death before I complete my story, this is the time for everybody to step up and help me. You know, it's all you gotta do is go on my YouTube homepage, click the About Me, and then at the bottom there's a link for my PayPal, and you can just donate, you know, whatever you can, whatever you don't feel like you need, and you know I will use it responsibly, and I will, whatever I get in return, the more I get, the more resources I have, the more I can give back. The more, like, I've had everything taken from me, understand that, and everything you see, my van, all of it is a product of me working my ass off since I've been released from jail to get the resources I need to even be able to make this possible. Like, when I left jail, I had $0. When I got out released, I had $0 fucking dollars to my name. I was negative money. I had to work. By the time I made it back to Oregon, I had to work at a restaurant for a period of time, and I had to pay back everything, all the money that my mom gave me while I was locked up for commissary, so I could buy snacks and stuff while I was locked up. And then I had to spend like 2.5 or 3 months, you know, after I was released, I had to spend 2.5 3 months in Humboldt County renting from some strangers, renting a room out from some strangers, which costs monthly rent and groceries and stuff, and all of that money was coming from my mom. So by the time I wasn't working during that time while I was still in Humboldt County on parole, waiting for my approval to get transferred to Oregon parole. But all that money I had to pay back. Not only did I have to pay it back, eventually I had to start building up my own money, and then I bought a camera, I've had to buy a laptop, bike, vehicle. I've had to buy all kinds of things to just try and get my life back the way it was even close to what my life was like before I got arrested, before I even went to Las Vegas. I had a travel van just like this one. I've had to get all of that back. And now here I am. I'm just back to the same situation of dealing with this bullshit. And I'm saying I'm already at 136 pounds. How long do I have? If I don't get any help from anybody, I will do my best to share what I can, but realistically, if I'm not getting enough food, it's just a matter of not having enough blood pressure or blood sugar or whatever, where, you know, I'm just sitting down, I stand up, and then I get dizzy and fucking fall over and hit my head and fucking die, or just outright starve to death, or whatever. I barely have any body fat, so I get cold easy. Once it gets winter time, I could freeze to death. So if you guys want to avoid that, and you guys want me to prosper and succeed and then give back what you guys have given, you know, it's this mutual two-way road. Just like sponsors, you know, like Hunger Games, you need sponsors in order to survive. Well, I need my friends to step up and just pitch a little bit my way, and I'll give back and keep sharing what I know. And then while I'm sharing what I know, the bad guys are going to get really mad, okay? So it's part of the game. So long as they don't capture me and I'm still running around free, I'll just keep sharing these videos and keep sharing things I know that the bad guys don't want you to know, because once you know, their games start getting exposed. People around, wherever you're at in the world, you might have bad guys around you who are hiding in plain sight, and after I share things with you, something might resonate. One of my experiences might be something you've experienced. And then all of a sudden, you can see what's going on around yourself. You can see, if you have children, you can protect your children by educating them. Okay? The bad guys don't want that. They don't want you to be smart. They don't want you to be self-empowered. They don't want you to be strong. They don't want you to empower your family. They want you divided from everybody. They don't want you to have friends. They don't want you to be... They want you divided from your entire family. They just want you all arguing amongst each other. Divide and conquer. All the way down to the family unit. Okay? Unfortunately, my family is part of this shit. And I'm doing what I can to deal with it. You know, my own fucking dad. Like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely retarded. I can't wait to talk about it. I cannot wait to tell all of you guys about it. But at the same time, they don't want that to happen. Which means, before I can even do that, the bad guys at some point might roll up on me and try capturing me. Which is why my friends are always nearby. Which is why it never surprises me every once in a while when I hear like a random gunshot. As if somebody is nearby and my friends just, you know, bam, out of nowhere. It's happened many times in the last few weeks. There's been nights where I've just been asleep and I wake up because I've heard like 1 or 2 single gunshots in the middle of the fucking night. Crazy shit. I mean, I don't have, like I said, I don't have anybody coming up and telling me what's happened or if it's just a random thing. But some of these things are the real deal. The real deal. I got. Yeah. So with that said, I'm trying to keep this first video under, you know, around an hour. Maybe it might be a little bit over. So that's pretty much it. The next video, I'm going to be launching into where I left off after I came back from Hawaii. And I'll try and go in much detail as I can, but there's some things I might skip over. I'll do my best. Try to stay focused and all that. Try to speak clearly. Yeah. So if you want to, if you're someone who wants to send any resources my way, you can find the PayPal link on my channel. But if not, it's not a big deal, man. I am prepared for Plan B. I'm not afraid of dying. If I end up dying, there's consequences across the entire earth, the entire board, if I end up dying before things get resolved in the manner that I've talked about. There's 3 names I've listed that need to be in custody. And so if those 3 are still walking free and I end up dying before that happens, before those 3 are walking free, or before those 3 are taken into custody, and I die first, there's going to be fucking severe consequences across the entire board. So if nobody steps up to help me, so be it, man. I'm already prepared for Plan B. I'm comfortable. I already know where I stand once I die. I've already crossed over before. I've met things on the other side. I know who I am, and I know what I'm capable of once my spirit leaves this flesh, should I pass on. So whether that makes sense to you, it doesn't really matter to me, but you should know at some point as I'm sharing my story, I will explain what I'm talking about. I guarantee it, and then it's going to be up to you to believe me or not believe me, and it's not my job to convince you otherwise. It's for you to figure out simply by listening and reading my body language and feeling me out. So this is the conclusion of this first video, and the next one will be about what happened right after I came back from Hawaii. Yeah, so stay tuned.